Well, hello, and thank you for checking this video out today. I'm Ray Jones, the pastor here at Ridgecrest, and I want to spend just a few minutes talking to you about something we're very excited about, and that is the launch of our Ridgecrest Christian Academy that will begin with this coming school year. And we'll begin with the first grade, and we'll be expanding in each year. But I'm excited about it. It's something that I've spent a great deal of time praying about over the last year. We felt led by God that this was the right time for us to begin this important endeavor and really next step in some of the ministries that Ridgecrest has been honored by God to start, and so we're excited about this. And today I have with me Matthew Johnson. Matthew Johnson has an extensive background in Christian education. He is our church administrator, and he is also the liaison to a educational task force, a group of absolute champions who have been helping us out of the education world to help us understand how to navigate the very best kind of setup we could possibly have to offer to students in our area. And so we just wanted to talk with you about some of those things today. So Matthew, welcome.
Thank you
for doing this.
Good to be here.
And give us a little bit to begin with about your perspective about what's going on, how we got here, and how rapidly God has pulled things together to make this happen.
Well, I mean, and yeah, just all the doors opening for us so quickly. I knew when we talked late last year, that we had a lot of pieces in place for a school. I didn't realize that we had a lot more than I even knew then. But as we have the task force meeting and talking through some of the plans, we were very quickly realized the same thing. We have a lot of things in place. There was no reason for us not to be able to start this. So I think within about, less than a week, we were ready to make the recommendation that we go ahead and start this. And so we began to get the ball rolling. We got curriculum picked out. We got a location for where the classrooms are going to be on the campus. We've now hired a teacher. So we have had a lot of things kind of just go real quickly. And then when it seemed like the door was going to close on something, the Lord opened something the same day on somewhere else. That's even better. So it's just great to see it's just been fun to really see how the Lord has really worked in all of this process.
Really, as you say, there have been some things that can only be attributed to God, how He's made some things fall into place. We have a campus that's already designed, meets all the codes for school, and that was one of those things where we thought, are we going to have to bring certain things up to speed? And we discovered that everything was ready, that when we constructed the building, we constructed it with school-grade, fire quality arrangements.
Correct.
And so all of that was in place. And, of course, we already had the space. We had plenty of space to do that in. So, and I'll be honest, this thing kind of came together even faster than I thought, because so many pieces were already there. When I put the task force together, as you recall, I gave the assignment of let's take about 3 months and then come back with a report. Well, within a week, because this committee, all of them pros out of the world of education, they came back in a week and said, there's no point in us waiting. We are ready to go. And everybody had taken specific responsibilities, assignments from curriculum to tuition to facilities, all of those things. And they had put them together in a package, their experience, your experience coming out of Christian education, with understanding what kind of policies and procedures and guidelines, all of that, man, it just came together. And it came together rapidly. And then anytime we hit some kind of a potential snag, we were amazed at how it would just suddenly, God would just work that out. So it's pretty amazing. And so we've hired our first teacher. Tell us about our first teacher.
Morgan Burnett, member here at Ridgecrest, comes out of the public school. She's taught elementary school. She's taught kindergarten. I think what really kind of stood out to us with Morgan was just her heart, her love for children. That was evident from talking to her and even people that knew her, talking about how she just loves children. But she has since, dug into curriculum. And then the other thing that's been really cool for her is her desire to teach children about Jesus. Standing in the classroom recently and just being very emotional about that, being able to do that. In today's age, you're not allowed to say a lot of things in the public school,
Right.
about your faith and about Jesus. And a big reason why we want to start this school is that we want children to hear the truth and we want them to know about Jesus. And so her just had that desire and that heart is what really stood out to us. We're excited. She's excited. She's been digging into curriculum. We have this curriculum that's going to be very good. And she's even taking a look at last year's curriculum and making sure that she can bridge that gap because it is a little bit more advanced. But she's able to go in there and kind of say, okay, this is where this one stopped, this one's where this picks up, and let me figure out how to bridge the two together.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good transition.
And you talk about curriculum. There's a lot of fine Christian curriculums out there, but our commitment was to make sure that the curriculum reflected the values that we hold most deeply, that it was rooted in Scripture, that it tells real history.
Right.
For example,
Right.
That it's quality in its content and in its challenge. In fact, our task force really believed it was ahead of all the other curriculums that they looked at, and that's consistent with our heart for this school, which is that we want it to be done with excellence. It is an elementary school, but we'll only offer grade 1 next year, and each year we will add at least one more grade. And some people might say, well, why didn't you start just all 5 grades, 1 through 5? We already have the pre-K and K-5 classes here at Ridgecrest, but why didn't you just go ahead and go grades 1 to 5? You want to speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that and it didn't take long for us to decide, you know what, we want to do this right. We want to do this with excellence. It would have taken a great financial investment to bring all that in and do that all at once. We just felt like we had a great established pre-K with the CDC that we have. In fact, those numbers are exploding for parents wanting to get their kids in, to get ready for the school. And we just felt like the best way to do this is to do it slow and to do this with just great planning.
So that we could do it right.
Correct. I mean, not to say we couldn't have done it right with having 1st through 5th grade, but there's also we want to create a great environment for these children. We want to have a great environment for the teachers that are coming in. That's an important thing. We want to have excellence in teachers. We want to be able to have them come in and be excited about what the place that they're in, and not worry about, well, is this going to make it? Are we going to be able to have enough, kids to justify the expenses? So we felt like if we started this slow and we do this one grade at a time, we're also learning. Every school is different. Every location is different. What you can take from one school to the other may not work. And so what is going to be kind of our DNA and how we work this through is going to be very important as we learn through the process of just growing and just doing it slowly.
Yeah. And the task force, one of the things I shared with them when I kind of brought them together and said, I want to share something with you that God has put on me that I want us to head toward. I said, let's do it with excellence, quality. And so we felt like we could add grades each year instead of trying to cram everything in and hope we can just do it. Instead, let's do it with excellence. Every grade. And so we want to start here, and it's going to be high quality. And my heart is, and my vision, we've got some great schools, Christian private schools in this area. And so I'm not taking anything away from those. Right. But my heart is that in the next few years, that because of the way we've started and because of our commitment to high quality education and excellence through the teaching environment, through the teachers themselves, I want this place to become a place where parents say, I want my kid at Ridgecrest because I know if they're at Ridgecrest, I know what they're going to get there, and I know they're going to get a good foundation in the the content of education, math, the sciences, history, all of those things. But there's also going to be a content that's rooted in the scriptures, and we want to do it right. And so in order to do it right, I mean, we're already, we've ordered some equipment to help us. We want to take advantage of the technology that is out there for us. So talk a little bit about some things we're doing there already on the front end.
Yeah, a couple of things that we were actually kind of targeting for year 2 of actually been able to fall into place for this year, which has been another a God thing. We had a great, a very generous donation that wanted us to use smart board technology. So basically, and you see that in a lot of schools these days. They almost look like a big TV screen. Just a big screen, but you can write on it, and you can do lots of different things with the interaction of like maybe kind of like PowerPoint, but then just taking it up another notch. You can send images from your phone that you may find or a video that may engage the children a little differently. Just a lot of different ways that you can do this. This smartboard we have that's coming in can be raised and lowered. So it can be raised up for the class when the teacher's teaching. But then if she wants to engage the children and let them come up and do some things, she can lower that for their height, which is kind of a really cool thing. And so just another one of those things that we've kind of added to it. Another thing that we wanted to do, and again, thought it was going to be year 2, which was going to be a parent portal for the students, kind of a student information system. A lot of people are familiar with the RenWeb, which is kind of been the staple for a long time, but a lot of places that have it. We looked into it and found out they were a lot more expensive than we really wanted to invest in. And so another one of those things where I'm like, okay, that's not really going to work. What can we do? And I start doing some Google searches, and I found this one company that had good reviews. I checked into it. They called me the same day and said, well, we're a Christian company, and we specialize in helping Christian schools. And I thought, well, hello. Thank you, Lord. Because so as we got into that, in fact, it even does some things that a lot of the bigger programs don't do. So what's really cool about that program is a parent can keep up with from their phone, can keep up with their child's grades, the attendance, discipline, all that stuff, upcoming events. The teacher can communicate with the parents, with have a newsletter format on that phone. Maybe you have a child that struggles in a certain subject. You can set up alerts on that app so that if they get a certain grade, you get an alert immediately as soon as that grade's recorded. So some really cool things there that we're going to be able to offer right now. Immediately. And that program, we've already been released to us. We're already putting stuff into it. So that's happened really fast. Another one of those things that just kind of fell into place and worked really well. And so we're excited about that. I mean, just things like that, just been really, really cool just to kind of see that kind of fall into place.
Yeah, and just another aspect of the technology that we've been able to introduce from the get-go in this first year. The desks are in.
Yeah,
all the furniture's in.
Yeah, we got all the furniture. We got the student desks are in. So those are brand new desks that kids get to sit in and learn from. And that all came in, and that was all generous donations from our members that wanted to invest in this process. And so we were able to pay for all of the furniture that we needed for 2 classrooms. So we're ready to even go into the next year with that as well, depending on how our numbers grow. But we've got stuff ready to go. I mean, it's hard to believe that we're about 6, 7, 8 weeks out. I mean, already, but a lot of things have happened and fallen in place. And I think you and I at lunch the other day said we never would have thought we would be at this point a year ago, especially coming out of COVID, that this would have come this quickly. This happened and just kind of fell together. So it's just really cool. Yeah.
And so tell us when the first day of school is.
August 16th. It's a Monday. That'll be the first day of school. We'll have a orientation parent open house type of thing, orientation thing on the Thursday before, which is on the 12th that evening. And that'll be a time for the kids to come in, see their classroom, see where they're going to be sitting. See the parents can see where they're going to be going. Teach them how to use that parent app and show them where they're going to be dropping their kids off and picking them up every day. So things like that. And we'll have a lot of fun stuff that night, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see everybody. on the campus, ready for school.
And there's still space. If people want
Yes.
to enroll, they can enroll. Tell them how to enroll.
Well, and to enroll, you go to our website, rcadothan.org. You can also go to rbcdothan.org and find the links for the school there. And there is a place to download the application, and you can fill that out and bring it to Melanie, our CDC director. You can also come in. You can do a school tour, see where we're going to be set up, and they can give you the packets at that point, and then we'll just go from there. So yeah,
Sure.
we've got some kids already enrolled, excited to go, parents ready to go. We have room still in our pre-K program. We got K5, K4, K3, all those have space. So if you want to
And
get
we've
in,
had to expand those.
we've had to
haven't we?
expand those. We've got we've doubled up in classes in K3 and K4. We're about to double up the class in K5. So we've got space. We're ready for your kids to come, and then and be able to kind of get plugged in. Automatically kind of filters them into the school once they finish the pre-K program.
But we do have limited space.
Limited space, yeah.
So that's an important thing for our audience to understand, is we have space now, but we may not have space down the road. We've made preparations for a certain number of students this year, and we believe that we'll see that. But just keep that in mind if you're thinking about, where do I put my first grader? Well, we're biased, but we think Ridgecrest Christian Academy might just be the new place for your child. And so we hope you'll check that out. Contact us here. We're going to be doing a drive in August, a supply drive as well.
Yeah.
Say a word about that before we go.
Really kind of a cool thing, and coming from, well, I've got 3 kids in private Christian education, and we have to purchase school supplies for them every year, and just like a lot of schools have to. But we are going to do a school supply drive on the first night of Awesome August, which is August 2nd, when Steve Gaines is going to come. And we're going to basically try to get all the supplies needed for our K5 and our first grade students, so the parents don't have to pay for any of it. So they just come to school, and here you go. You got all your stuff. I mean, they're going to need like a lunch box still and a backpack
Right.
and things like that. And another thing about lunch too is, like, we're going to be able to provide lunch for this first year for
Right
these
here on
students right
campus.
here on campus, like we do with our pre-K, which is kind of a cool thing. And I don't know that we'll be able to do it much past this first year, but we are going to do it this first year. And so that's kind of a neat thing. If you worried about, there is something about having to pack a lunch every day, and like, well, if you don't have to worry about it, or a snack, we've got food here that's going to be.
They'll be able to do either or.
That's
They'll be
right.
able
They
to
can
bring a lunch, or
exactly.
they'll be able to get their lunch right here.
That's right. That's right.
At our CDC cafeteria.
That's
for the
right.
kids.
Yeah. So really cool stuff. It kind of, yeah.
Well, I'm so excited about this first year. Again, I'll be honest, I didn't know how fast God was going to put it together, but so many things have fallen into place. We're so excited. And not only is it just kind of happening, it's going to be happening with high quality and excellence. And that's the way we believe that God wants it done. And so we're excited about it. And we wanted you to know just a little bit, just a little background about how we got here, but where it's going. And we'd love for you to be a part of the process. If you have a first grader or a pre-K, we'd love to have you involved in the future of Ridgecrest Christian Academy. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you.